We'll be right back with David's guests, Frank, Dweezil, and Moon Zappa.
Okay, welcome back. You know, before we introduce the next guest, I got to ask you, I mean, I like the tie, what I see of it.
Yeah.
But you got like a half a tie.
Here's the whole thing. I got to tell you that I ate lunch in a restaurant today because, well, it was close to the hotel and they have very good food, but I walked in with no tie. So they stopped me at the door and they said, you'll have to wear a tie. And they had a whole rack of them in the coat room. And they gave me my choice. And this was the best looking one that they had in there. And the food was great. And after it was all over, I offered to buy the tie from the people at this restaurant, and they were kind enough to actually give it to me for free. So I would like to say, if you need a good-looking tie, go to Le Cirque on 65th Street. Okay? Tell them I sent you.
Now, rather than me introduce, why don't you introduce our next two guests?
Okay. Two of my children, Moon and Dweezil.
Moon and Dweezil. Now, I got to ask you something. What's he like as a father? We see him as a human being and as a tie salesman, but what's he like? Is he a little offbeat, would you say?
Nah.
Really strict.
No.
Really?
Only
Makes
with your
us listen
friends,
to
man.
like classical music a lot.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get that aria
Tell
out of
them
my
the truth,
mind.
because when she was number one, and when she was little, she used to dance to all Stravinsky records and outs. I mean, didn't know what it was, but she would dance to it. But now it's all over.
Now heavy metal, I like to dance to that best. I don't know.
When you
And
play,
look
when
what
you,
it did to her hair.
when you play the music. First of all, how do you introduce Frank, like your friends? When you know, someone comes over, you say, this is my dad, Frank Zappa. This is my dad, you know. How do you introduce them? What do you?
Well, I mean, you bring the person in, and whoever it is, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't think of a friend offhand, but you say, well, this is my dad, Frank, and this is my friend, whoever, Larry. I don't have a friend named Larry, but if I did, that's what I would say.
Frank Larry.
Yeah, friends of Frank, Larry.
Larry Frank. Hi,
Yeah.
how you doing? I go back to work, they go up to the kitchen.
When you work in the studio, when you get, do you ever help your father with any of his work? Do you ever, or does he let
He
you
won't
in?
let us.
He won't let you in?
No.
We make butter, we
We have a cottage industry.
yeah.
Well, when you're at home and you're playing your music, does Frank ever come in there and say, you know, like caught noise? You know, it's passed on generation. You know, every generation calls the other generation's music noise.
No, I don't call it noise, but I do ask them to turn it down because the way the studio is set up, sometimes if I'm in the room mixing, we have a live echo chamber. He can be out there playing the guitar, leaks into the live chamber. So then I have to say, look, we're mixing stuff. But the rest of the time, if we're not, he goes in there and it's cranked up. You guys think you want to hear some volume one day? In a room this
The
little
purpose
smaller
of
than
this
this.
amp is so you never have to leave the continent. You can be heard in Europe, folks. It's like...
But it's not noise.
Yeah. What's your favorite remembrance growing up in the house?
Growing up in the house, you go for that one, brother. Go on. It's been the same house all our life, too. Yeah.
I give up. I don't
Paganini,
know.
what was that? What?
I
I don't
don't
remember
know.
growing up in the house because they're always going out.
Yeah, right.
What kind of guidelines do you set as a parent?
Well, give me an example. Give
Like,
me
let's say they're going out. They're going out at night.
Well, I like to know who they're going out with. I like to know where they're going. I like to know when they're coming home. And I like to make sure they do come home. Other than that, what they do when they go out there is left up to their own devices.
Well, isn't it like, you know, do you ever find yourself doing the things that you didn't like done when you were a kid? Like where you're going, who you're going with, where you're going to be, and what time you're coming home?
Well, I try not to, but, you know, ultimately you have to be worried because we do live in California and you know what kind of people they have out there, that whenever you go into the street, there are certain dangers that a person is exposed to in a psychotic environment. And so you have to be concerned about it.
So we took riot awareness courses.
Yeah, learning how to work with tissue.
I got almost arrested in L.A. for walking.
Yeah.
I stopped and got a hamburger and orange Julius, and the cop actually drew his gun and said, "What do you think you're doing?" I said, well, I don't know what you call it out here, but when you put hot things in your mouth, it's called eating back east. And moving one leg after the other, we call it I'm walking and eating. But I thought he was going to fire at me. They're like training Berlin out there, right?
Yeah, we do have the meanest police on the planet. They'll stop you if they think you're good looking. It's horrible. I mean, it's never happened to me because...
But let's be fair. No, you really have to be fair, though, because Los Angeles is a big place. And I think that we have fewer policemen per capita than they do in New York City. I mean, it really is totally understaffed. What they need is more policemen in Los Angeles so that they can spread the workload around and these guys don't pull a gun on somebody eating a hot dog.
Well, what you have in L.A., though, see, you need more cops here because if we have 12 people dead, there are 12 suspects. Out there, there's just one guy who heard a dog talking to him, you know. Yeah. So you only have to catch one guy. We got to catch 12 here.
Yeah, but it's like a more widespread area, so...
Do they have to drive farther to catch one
right.
guy? Whereas in Virginia, the guy who hears people talking to him is running for president.
If you had one...
You figure it out.
If you had one hope for your kids, what would it be? What do you see as the future?
Well, first of all, I hope that they do not have to spend any more time under a Republican administration. And I hope that after we get that little matter straightened out, that people take another look at the Constitution and see what it's really worth and protect the thing. And then that'll give you a chance at some happiness.
Give him a shot. All right, we're going to take a little break and come back right after this. Thanks to the Zappa family. Actually, it's only half the family right there.
You get the other couple on there.
Yeah, next time, bring the wife and the other 2 kids.
Yeah, get them all on. We'll just
Tag
roll
team
around.
wrestling.
Yeah, and we'll have more seats. Everybody will come on, but I want to thank you. I think you're terrific, and you're definitely, I'd like to have you as a father myself. You know, I think you'd be like, especially the way you
I'm going to give you this tie.
I'm going to wear it, man. Thanks a lot. Okay, good night, everybody.
Some of the guests have Catherine Deneuve and the Fabulous Thunderbirds. I'm Dan Ingram. Good night.